What's happening, people? Can y'all hear me good? Let me slide this joint a little closer. So, yeah, I'll make sure everybody can see and hear me good. How y'all be? Alright. Alright, so my content's for educational purposes only. Can't stress enough for you guys to do your own research. Praise my content. Any errors or issues you have, throw it in the comments. I'm open for dialogue. None of us have been alive long enough to know all that transpired in the past. None of us can live long enough to know all there is to learn. Hey, I was, scrolling through Facebook, man, and I seen a post from a good friend of mine, man, and to give you the layout of it is, his son. He has a young son, and he had a picture of him with his son laying across his chest, and he said, his son said, "Daddy, I want to come lay with you," and he fell asleep like that, and that, for me, I mean, it was a good thing to see, and I commented on it, but because it's healthy, it's healthy for a young man of a young, ripe age, 5, 6, 7, whatever, in that area, to have access to his father, in proper context, and an active father, not an absentee father, and the reason why that's so important, man, look around. I can say look around because it took me till I was 44 years old to even begin to break the mold. Well, what mold is you talking about? I said look around. Look around, man. You got a lot of these young cats, not just young cats. So this is universal to melanated, young men. Even some older men, because a lot of our fathers were absentee. They wasn't there. You get what I'm saying? So I carried around, some anger with me for a long time. And it took me a long time. I mean, for over half of my life, I didn't know how to properly, express myself. I struggled with processing emotions and things of that nature. So the crutch for me was, fuck it. The defense mechanism was violence, anger, and hostility. And that's why I said it's healthy for a young man of tender, ripe ages of 4, 5, 6, 7, in that area. You know what I mean? Because that's when the character is being shaped. I know based on the fact that I knew who my father was. I spent time with him occasionally, but it was nowhere near enough. I used to have, I used to say things like, man, if my father was in my life would have been completely different, But some things have faded, you know what I mean? And I say that because had I not had my life went any other way than the way it went, I wouldn't be as strong as I am right now. I wouldn't be who I am right now. I wouldn't be as capable. Everything would be different. I would be different. And if I ain't never been confident, in saying anything since I knew how to talk and understand words, when I say I love who I am today, the good, the bad, the ugly, unconditionally, I embrace it all. You know, the things I had to go through, seeking what I was lacking from my father and other males. You know, all that shit, it had to be meant to be. You know, because what's for you, you'll never miss it. It won't miss you. You can never get what's not meant for you, though. So getting back to it, you know, when I say look around, man, you know, this is universal, man. It's a unisex issue. It's you know, you got a lot of young women that you know, granted their mother may be around, but they're not getting the emotional nurturing and or other areas. You know, I can't speak to women's situation as well as I can to a man's, because I'm a man and I'm not going to pretend like I know women's issues more than a woman does, because I don't. You know, but you know, maybe one of you sisters, you know, that has a platform can speak to that. You know, but back to the men. You know, I look around, man. I see a lot of grown ass men, man, still impressionable. You know, peer pressure ain't never died. That shit's still alive and well, more so than ever now. You know, and my theory, you know, and synopsis on the situation is basically, you know, through analyzation and observation, man, it's like, man, a lot of that shit can be trailed back to, you know, father issues, man, or the lack of, you know, whatever they lacked in the relationship that they didn't have with their father. You know, because I say that because, like, you know, with my oldest daughter, man, I missed some time, man, and the time that I missed, you know, you can't go back and do shit over. But I know, you know, had I been present the entire time, like I've been with my youngest, you know, a lot of things would have been different, you know. But I just wasn't ready. You know, I wasn't ready. I didn't even understand the significance of I wasn't even able to understand the significance of fatherhood, you know, because I was so busy focusing on everything else, and I wasn't at the level of consciousness that I am today, nor did I embody the level of wisdom that I embody today to be able to pinpoint issues that I talk about today, you know. But I just wasn't ready. You know, I didn't have, you know, the example that I needed in order to step into those shoes. That's something that I had to learn. You know, that's something that I had to, you know, through the process of, you know, like that video, I think it's 1 or 2 videos ago. That process of looking yourself in the mirror, analyzing what's there. You know, and getting rid of what no longer serves you. Along with implementing what you know needs to be implemented in order for you to operate at the proper capacity for something that you have an obligation and a responsibility to and for, as it relates to a child that you initiate bringing into this world. You know, so again, man, you know, I veer off of the topic, you know, to make points via the tentacles that, you know, come from the subject matter that I'm talking about, man. And like I say, a lot of guys, man, I know I'm not the only one. I grew up around a bunch of guys, man. Some of them had their fathers in their life, but they were, the relationships just wasn't what they are supposed to be, man. Because personally, I give you an example. I grew up, in an environment that was like macho. It was about machoism. Crying and shit was a sign of weakness. It was viewed as being weak. It's literally, and I know if some individuals see this video that I grew up with, they'll laugh when I say what I'm about to say. You couldn't be no punk. You couldn't be no punk. You couldn't be soft. It was not accepted. It was an unwritten, rule. And if you broke the rule, you had consequences. You know what I mean? So, I'm just saying, like, but as a result of that, it caused me personally to, there's a couple different terminologies I can use. In the Key program, they call it stuff and feelings. In other fields, they classify it as, I don't know what they call it. I mean, I know what I call it, so let me not even go there. I've termed it as, compartmentalizing those emotions and setting them aside and moving on with those issues, those emotional issues left unresolved, which creates baggage, unbeknown to the occupant. So this is how those layers of the onion, compile, that we tend to accumulate throughout our life. But in this, like I said, just seeing that post, man, it like struck a chord with me, man, because like some guy, I mean, this is something that a lot of guys probably won't admit, but when you get to a level of maturity and a level of knowing who and what you are, and being what do you call that word? Pardon me while I struggle for the words that I'm trying to use to illustrate my point. What is it called when insecurities? You dig what I'm saying? I can remember I'm not insecure at all in who and what I am. You know what I mean? I also have developed through much hardship over a long course of time, managed to balance the feminine and masculine energy that I embody. So back to it, man, I can remember, plenty of times, man, where, my mom would tell me, yeah, well, your dad's supposed to come through, this, that, and the third. And, the way the house was structured that I grew up in, you come in, you walk straight into the living room. Then on the left side wall, you go straight up the stairs. So at this point in my life, I had the back bedroom. So I would leave my door open, and anytime somebody knocked on that door, I was up at the doorway because I could see the door. I would come to the top of the stairs and lay down and I'm waiting for him. You know what I mean? My dad coming. You know what I mean? And to be disappointed so many times and go to sleep, with my pillow wet from crying, disappointed because he didn't show. You know what I mean? Those things have a hellified effect on, you know, a young boy. You know what I mean? And, you know, that's why, you know, I decided to make this video, man, because I realized that the places that I've escaped, that I was stuck and bound and trapped in for so many years of my life, were due to those types of issues, childhood wounds and scars that I didn't even know had cut me as deep as they did. It took for me to go through, you know, you know, Christianity, Islam, more science, and to finally, you know, find my way to African spiritual system, African spirituality, and to continually seek knowledge and watch the lectures and write down the book references and go get the books, you know, and read the books and all that. You know what I mean? For me, and not to mention during my six to seven terms of incarceration, you know, in the programs that I did, you know, life skills, anger management, you know, key program twice. First time I got put out, you know, the fatherhood classes and all that stuff. Yeah, I did all that, you know what I mean? Because I knew it was a need for me to learn. You know, during that last time I went to jail, which was a 5-year stint, man, my daughter was 1.5 years, my oldest, when I went in. And I felt the significance of my absence, you know? So, and then it made me look at myself even stronger because, you know, the way my father wasn't there, you know? So, like, with that being said, man, I'm gonna say this to a lot of the men out there. You know, it's very important, man, you know, that we take the time, you know, to recognize that part of being human is to have emotions. And for you to act as if you have none is to go against nature. You know, and it can land you somewhere where you might not be able to get out of, or it may not be able to be fixed, or it may not be no saving you. You know, emotions are strong, man. Emotions are strong, you know, and when you have a lot of misplaced, you know, anger, resentment, you know, abandonment issues, you know, not really knowing how to express yourself, you know what I mean? These are the type of issues, man, that lead to what we see when we look around, when we riding through, you know? And, you know, if ain't nobody never told you, man, it's all right. You know what I mean? Because believe it or not, you know, whether it don't matter, you know, because I know a lot of cats is too tough, or they too much of a killer and all that, whatever you want to call it, whatever you representing, you know, for you to admit that you shed tears. But come on, man, you know, I done been in the box. I done time in 3 different states, you know, and when them doors lock. You get what I'm saying? And the reality of your situation set in. Come on, man. You know what I mean? So that said to say, if it take for you to be in the privacy of your own home, your own domicile, wherever you reside, wherever your avatar resides, because this is your home right here, on a literal sense, you know, because the real you resides within. However, you know, if it takes for that, you know, for you to, you know, and the crazy thing about it is, you know, sometimes it may be a song, you know, For those of us whose father is no longer in the third dimensional realm, you know, it may be a song that strike one of them chords, and you ain't gonna be able to stop them tears from coming, cuz. You get what I'm saying? Especially if you was like I was. I went over 20 years without shedding a tear. And trust me, it was a lot of things that I could have shed tears about during that 20 years, 20 plus years. Being real, 20 plus years, you know. But the way, you know, the distorted way of thinking that I was programmed with was shit. Not me. Ain't no breaking me. Fuck you talking about? Nigga, I'm built for this. You dig what I'm saying? And not to say that any of you guys or men that's out there watching this not built for it. Come on, man. We have the superior genome. 9 series DNA, not to mention. Come on, man. There is no better prototype than the Ebenoid. You know? The original man and woman. Been proven, brother, scientifically. And see, this is something else now that I done veered off. I don't give a damn what you want to talk about. You cannot get around science. See, because science ain't dealing with hope. Science ain't dealing with faith. Well, certain aspects of it, but I'm just talking about as far as establishing fact. You know, experiments are ran. Hundreds, thousands of experiments are ran to ascertain the truth or the lack of in any one thing. You know? So, ain't no getting around science. You know? And ironically, that's largely lacking in the curriculums today. I remember when I was going to school, we used to dissect frogs. I doubt if that's happening anymore. All the other shit they done took out curriculum. Anyway, man, you know, to bring it back home, man, yeah, you know, it's all right, man, you know, because to have emotions is to be human, you know. So don't lie to yourself, you know. And when you shed tears, when you cry, that is an emotional release. That's a way of you releasing that baggage that you've held on to for all these years. You understand what I'm saying? You know, actually, you know, it makes you more of a man, in my opinion, you know, to get to a point in your masculinity whereby you can express those emotions. Allow yourself to feel those emotions, you know? Because it's just not realistic for any one of us to sit here and say that we don't have any. Yeah, you can get to a certain state of being, whereas though your state of being would have to be altered in order for you to get to a point or a state of being whereas though you can experience those emotions. I've been there. And I'm not going to drag it out. You know, it's already going on 25 minutes, but I'm just saying, man, I just felt like this was necessary, man, because society has gotten so unnatural now. You know what I mean? You know, not just with men, but with women as well. You know, and I ain't pointing no fingers, but I'm just saying, there's always room for improvement. There's always room to evolve. You know, life itself is a school. You know, with nothing but cycles for you to go into and hopefully extract a lesson from the experiences you encounter in the process of going through those cycles. So when you complete a cycle, you start a new one. And now your level has risen. You see what I'm saying? Every time. But yeah, man, shout out to all the fathers that's in their children's lives, teaching them what they took them 40 plus years to learn. Shout out to all the, brothers that's breaking generational curses, because they say the fruit don't fall far from the tree. But a phrase that I coined some years ago as an extenuation of the fruit don't fall far from the tree, and that would be the following: unless the fruit sees something wrong with the tree. So, man, this video, man, is, never cease to evolve, man. Never feel like your cup is full, and evolution is not sweet. It's not always easy to evolve or to look at things from a higher perspective and allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to feel the emotions that a lot of us as men look at as, well, that weak ass nigga. Okay, I live and let live. I ain't on here claiming to know everything, but I ain't talking just because I got a hole in my face, And another thing is, for those that are in denial, you can front all you want. Because it may even be your woman that have to pull your coattail. Nigga, don't front like, yeah, nigga, I was with you. I was there. Yeah, you feel me? Because a lot of times, man, them be the ones that be present when you go through situations that hurt your heart. Or that pierce through that armor-coated, flesh and get to, your emotions. You might not let everybody else see, but 9 times out of 10, that woman was there. You get what I'm saying? If nobody else. But at the end of the day, man, all I'm saying is, man, if ain't nobody else told you, it don't make you weak. It don't make you no less of a man. Just because you done shed some tears or whatever, it don't mean nothing. It don't make you no less capable physically to defend yourself or your family at all. Trust me. Anyway, man, y'all be easy, man. As is always, it was my hope and my intention that this video resonated with somebody and that somebody was able to, extract some benefit from it, and you don't necessarily have to be a man to feel where I was coming from with this one, But with that said, man, y'all be easy, man. Stay safe, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.